Thursday, July the 28th, 2022, and today's walk is a very local one, mainly due to the unreliability of the railway network, or should I say the even more unreliable railway network. Following a strike yesterday, there's going to be problems on the network today, so I've decided to do a local walk, very local. Didn't even get the car out today. And this one is a North Herts Ramblers walk, number 153, which I've adapted slightly because theirs starts at a different point in Ickleford, which I will be joining shortly. Ickleford being near Hitchin, North Hertfordshire. And I'm starting here from the Berrymead Springs Nature Reserve, which you can Google if you wish to learn more. And it's interesting because it's next to a scrap metal yard, which you can hear in the background there, plus a relatively new railway curve, the Cambridge curve, which links Hitchin to Cambridge. But there is quite an interesting selection of wildlife, despite all of this, in this little reserve, which is small. I mean, there have been sightings of otter, and I know you get sedge warblers here, as we'll see in a second. Well, their habitat, not them, probably. Got a bit of a mixed day today, bit of a breeze, easterly, so nice and chill, well, cooling. It's due to cloud over very shortly. Sun has been out. It's around low 20s, low 70s. So let's press on and see what awaits. I anticipate around 11 miles today. The North Herts Ramblers variant is 9.5 miles from the parking point in Westmill Lane, Ickleford. So there's a better view of the Cambridge curve, which takes the trains over the North Eastern Railway main line, trains to Newcastle and Edinburgh, speeds up the service to Cambridge really. And here is the sedge warbler territory, plenty of reeds in here. So say it's a small nature reserve, but attracts quite a lot. Little egrets. What else have I seen here? Can't recall off the top of my head at the moment. But I'm stood on a little viewing platform, and I can notice that the water level is very low by the base of the reeds. The brown mark would be where the water normally is. It's a bit perturbing again. So since I was last here 6 months back, they've grown a little plantation of trees here, which is good to see. We're now passing what's known as cricket bat willow plantation, because these willows are sold on for cricket bats. Plenty of ragwort about. Further little plantation here of freshly grown trees, which are grown on a Japanese method, I read somewhere. So you chuck as many in as you can get in, and it's survival of the fittest thereafter. Can't remember the name of the technique, but Japanese. Yeah, that's it. Dream for Trees. If you look at their website, you'll find out about this technique. I'm trying to remember. Oh, there it is. It's mentioned. Miyawaki. Ickleford village sign. the old school there. This is Upper Green with its pump. Filmed this before on a local walk. St Catherine's Church, Ickleford, with its newly added extension to the rear here. Passing the Plymouth Feathers on my left, one of the local pubs. Passing the sports field, cricket field currently, and a social club here at Ickleford. Passing a former glass house, of which there used to be many in this area, for growing either plants or fruit and veg. I can't recall which. A bit before my lifetime, I think. So as you can see, having just crossed the busy Bedford Road, we're now on the Icknield Way, walker's route. And as you'd expect now, fields here have been cut and baled. Sparrowhawk there, waiting pickings. Now there is a turn off here left, which goes to Westmill Lane as well, if the parking that the Ramblers uses full. There's parking at the end of this lane as well, or track rather. Plenty of kites around today. So the actual walk starts to my left down this lane, at a little car park there at the end of Westmill Lane. That's about half a mile hence, and joins up here with the Hanbridge Way. On to Pirton, which is about 2 miles hence. More new housing on the edge of Pirton as we continue on the Hanbridge Way. Information panel about the parish of Pirton. Village pond at Pirton. Passing the Fox pub, Pirton. St Mary the Virgin Church, Pirton. Previously recorded on another walk. Forget which one. The old war memorial. God rest their souls. Now passing the Mott and Bailey pub on my left, opposite the village green, and another bus stop come library. The old maypole's still up. Pirton village sign. Now joining Wood Lane as we leave Pirton. That's a sign from times gone by. Mid Herts Valley's Countryside Management Service. And this used to constitute part of my cycle ride when I first started during lockdown, before getting knocked off. And with regard to the ankle or foot, the neuroma still giving me jip. Not sure what's going to happen there. Later on we will be coming down the other side of that field. Not yet cut here. Wheat. Classic section of hill walk, of Chiltern Hill walking here. Beechwood on my right. High point today, by the way, is around 600 foot. 594 I believe. Low point about 192. So decent amount of climbing. That field's actually barley, not wheat. Decent vista back towards Hitchin. At this juncture, carry on straight. Left takes you towards a B road. Looking towards the wind farm at Biggleswade. Spinning left. This is Knockin Hoe Nature Reserve. So there you have it, Knockin Hoe National Nature Reserve.
Receiving no GPS positions.
And in the background, apart from my GPS talking, you might be able to hear the jets of Luton. So having had both the GPS talking in the background and the phone ringing, back to business. Passing another lovely beechwood on my left. This one not as mixed as the previous one, which also had ash and some pine to it. This is known as Tingley Field Plantation on the map. So we've reached the busy Hexton B Road here, with a view to crossing that stile opposite. First of the day. And as you can see, we've actually crossed into Bedfordshire here. Pegsdon is in Bedfordshire, yet Hexton, a little way yonder, is in Hertfordshire. Quirk of the county boundaries. The onward path here is clear from this sheep field up to Pegsdon Hills, as we call them. Halfway up Deacon Hill, looking back whence I've come. Tingley Wood Plantation. Passing the trig point of Deacon Hill, 542 feet high here per my GPS, or 172 metres per the map. Decent outlook. And the weather's holding up better than I expected as well. Still getting periods of sun. There's the old wind farm there at Biggleswade. Tingley Wood again. And just down below there is the hamlet, I guess, of Pegsdon. with its pub. There's also some accommodation there these days as well. Live and Let Live used to be called. Not sure if that name still holds. Further views from Beacon Hill, Rest Park in the far distance there, that white tower. Now that estate, there's an estate in the neighbouring hamlet of Pegsdon, which I noticed on Rightmove yesterday, is up for sale at 15 million. Anyone interested in basically that woodland down there where the manor house is and the tree line that you see there, I think it's about 700 acres altogether, 15 million. It's got pheasant shooting, fishing rights, agricultural land obviously, but that's the most expensive property I've seen on the market in this area since I've lived here, I think. Mind you, that is small change for whoever won the Euro Millions last week. One person in the UK won nearly 200 million, eh? Way to go. Sheep agrees anyway. Got some lovely wooded valleys down there, which are glacial. We used to come and study these at school, geography, O-level. Self-explanatory. Just past one seat on my left there, but I'm aiming for Noon Hill appropriately, as it is almost noon and time for lunch. So here we are, just gone noon, on Noon Hill, around 566 feet high up here, almost the high point of the walk. Telegraph Hill behind me is slightly higher, but once again I'm taking this seat thanks to Jackie Gulliver Thompson, God rest your soul. And this is the vista from her seat down this lovely valley, V-shaped valley. Wonderful, eh? It's all the better because I was expecting it to be cloudy, per the Met, reliable as ever. So like I say, it's just gone 12, 10 past 12 now, lunch is served. Early for me today. So around 1 o'clock lunch has been had, and it's clouded over a little bit during that interlude, and I can see in the distance for sure towards the green sand ridge there, certainly looking a bit cloudier. Storm flies are flying around as well, those are the annoying little black things, so they could have some rain by the end of the day, much needed. So this is about just over 5.1 miles into the walk. Got about 5.5 left on the official route, then plus whatever I've added on. So I think my 11's going to be about right. Let's press on. And one thing I did notice over lunch was crickets or grasshoppers, I don't know which, chirring in the background. Not something I've heard for a long time, and it's funny how you don't miss these things if you don't hear them. But yeah, good to hear that they're around up here, because they're becoming rare as well. So leaving the Pegsdon Hills Wildlife Trust Nature Reserve. and passing one of Bedfordshire's yellow topped marker posts. So just prior to descending here, I'm at 608 feet. So this is Telegraph Hill, the high point of the walk today.
Receiving no GPS positions.
Now out into agricultural country. Recently cut corn and Luton jet noise. So at this juncture,
Receiving no GPS.
do a left here into the woods just before you see those pylons, and you'll note that we're now back in Hertfordshire signage. Part of the Lily Hu estate now, I do believe. Elderberries are starting to take colour already, and I saw a little snippet on a programme the other evening where it said that field beans that are normally cut in September are being cut now. So as soon as the corn's done, farmers into the next field where beans are growing, which are normally for human consumption, they're being cut 2 months early. And because they're being cut so early, they're not fit for human consumption, so they're going to have to be used for animal feed. So there's another example of another price hike because of a shortage of beans. What a ruddy cycle we're in at the moment, eh? Irrespective of the war in Ukraine, got a lot of problems caused by global warming, clearly. Yet they won't have it. And there's another example, sloes. Out at the end of July, eh? Unbelievable. Approaching the property known as Little Offley, which has appeared in previous walk videos. Leaving Little Offley behind us. Now descending towards Welbury House. Plenty of field beans around here, but that's a different kind of bean. It's not the one I'm talking about. These are grown for nitrogen purposes, I do believe. Passing Welbury House, which is some kind of training centre for Hasidic Jews, I believe. Sort of place where they come out to for learning and what have you. Not dissimilar to the Anabaptist Darville place we saw the other week. Except this isn't a community as such where they live off the land. They just come out here for meetings and what have you. Was a Catholic seminary previously, which reflects our changing times, I guess. Wonderful, eh? And it is clouding over now. Leaving the Welbury stud behind us, and that's been revamped in recent months since I was last out here. And this part of the path has certainly been opened up since I was last here. Used to be really overgrown. But we are on the Chiltern Way, so maybe that's why they've opened it up a bit during COVID. Used to be a nightmare getting through this gate. Used to be brambles all over the place. Some crab apples there. One pigeon less. One happy sparrowhawk probably eating that for breakfast. Looking over towards Hitchin on my right. Another crossing of the busy Pegsdon Road ahead of us. Notice the Hebrew writing at the bottom of this Chiltern Way extension sign. I have noticed those Hasidics doing walks in the area, and that must be their way of advising people that are on the right path. See, there's more of it. This is one very large field with a big undulation in it. Cut and baled already. But this is what I mean by maintaining hedges. You can keep the bulk of the hedge, but just leave sufficient gap here for combines and what have you, machinery to get through. That's all you need to do. You can still have these large fields, but you don't need to rip out all the hedges. Views over the surrounding countryside. More Hebrew. Yeah, I see the old log pile has depreciated. Last time I did this walk, big piles of logs here. So this is Tingley Wood. There's a number of kites fly overhead. We were on the other side walking through there earlier. Looking down on the church at Pirton and the village there from a point very close to High Down House here. So just after High Down House, with Pirton in the distance there, come out into open country again. So as I mentioned earlier, that hedge over there is the path we walked along going up towards Pegsdon Hills, and I said we would be walking the other side of the field. Well, this is it. This hedge has a footpath down the side of it which takes us a different way back into Pirton, so no duplication thus far. More new houses in Pirton, and if I remember correctly, last time I was over here, which isn't that long ago, these have gone up during COVID. This used to be a nice little selection of allotments. Absolutely relentless. And I do, if I recall correctly, there used to be a footpath cutting through here. So I wonder where that's gone. The allotments, that was. There is a little tea room in that pavilion somewhere, but I've never seen it open. Probably the same information panel we saw earlier about the parish of Pirton. Are these walnuts? Sure someone can tell me. So this morning we came along the Hambridge Way, which is the other side of that hedge over there, and this field has already been ploughed, cut, baled and ploughed. Our onward journey is along this footpath across the two ploughed fields. Views back from a point near Westmill Lane, very near the starting point of this walk now, the official starting point. So to my left here on Westmill Lane is where we were this morning, further down. And there's a field being cut just here. Might get another combine shot. Oh, I see it. It's a class. Let's see what kind he's using. Looks very similar to last week's model. Small blade. Tractor just alongside. Very old style way of collecting the crop. Dominator 204. Not quite sure if that's an old model or a new one. It's quite modern. So after that little bit of excitement for me, do a right here on Westmill Lane. Okay, I've just recorded 10 mile on the button, which includes obviously the extra bit I did at the beginning. But this is the parking bay.
Receiving no GPS positions.
The official parking bay for the start of the walk. And you then go down that Westmill Lane and so on. So I've recorded all of the official walk now, and anything I do henceforth is unofficial, so to speak. I won't have a camera on much now anyway, because I'm walking back through the village of Ickleford, so not much to record there that I haven't already done so. Well, I've just seen some people picking blackberries, and there you can see the haws are almost ready. So the problem is, how's this going to affect the poor birds? Because they're not ready for this grub at the moment. You know, they're molting, they're in a different state. But come the autumn, when they do need this stuff, food, there won't be anything for them, because you know it's come out too early. As I say, look in the background there, look at them elders. This is the end of July. Absolute madness. The world has gone mad, and it's all down to mankind. And as I continue to say, the powers that be, just press on. Those two idiots contesting the Conservative leadership gave lip service to the green issue. Spent about 2 minutes on it, the pair of them. Shocking. So yeah, watch this space, because in the autumn, poor birds are going to be suffering big time. That's if they haven't already died off beforehand because of the lack of water. Look at these. I've never seen them out in July. Well, possibly they were in '76. My memory doesn't go back so clearly then, but this is unbelievable. Is that a lovely missel thrush up there? Looks a bit too big to be a song thrush. Very quiet this time of year. I haven't even heard the chiff-chaffs, if they're still about. This is the alternative path I mentioned earlier in the morning, and little parking bay. If you can't get in at Westmill Lane, the official start, just park here, take this right away, and it takes you to where we were this morning. So here we are back at St Catherine's from a different angle, which is nice. So now I'm duplicating my walk back past Cricket Bat Willow Plantation. So 5 to 4, 4 hours 45 later, and 11.4 miles, so I wasn't far wrong. Decent walk that, decent local walk, some nice scenery, weather held out, so despite the best efforts of the RMT, managed to get a walk in this week, and without any transportation whatsoever. So I hope you enjoyed that one. That's courtesy of North Herts Ramblers, walk number 153. Till the next time, take care.